When you play League, are you someone who tries to come up with the newest bot lane duo? Someone who ruthlessly abuses the current best champions? Or maybe someone who just plays for that montage? What does that say about your personality? Over 20 years ago, a different game made profiles for their players that actually fit perfectly with the personality of League of Legends players. Magic the Gathering has been a card game that's been played for almost 30 years now. It's like League of Legends, except if the prestige skin that you had bought had a chance to be worth hundreds of dollars down the line. I've been playing Magic for a long time. In fact, Wizards of the Coast, the company who owns Magic, has just started previewing their latest sets, and they give out new cards to content creators to preview them. I was looking at 2 previews the other day, and the content creators had really different styles of showing their preview card. Tell me if you can spot any subtle differences. So, some time ago, Wizards developed psychographic profiles for their players to map out those players' desires when they play the game and what they want to accomplish. Now, in both Magic and League, I always want to play hot and attractive characters, so recently I've been getting into the sexiest archetype, frogs. In Magic, I've been building a frog tribal deck, and in League, I've been unclogging the frog. My gig as a frog enthusiast in both games got me thinking about how profiles actually fit League players incredibly well. In this video, I'll explain the 3 personality types they developed, and a 4th type that was added later, and you can decide which one best fits your League personality. The first personality type is Timmy, Power Gamer. Timmy has 3 subcategories: the Social Gamer, the Diversity Gamer, and the Adrenaline Gamer. The original Magic description of Timmy was this: Timmy wants to experience something. Timmy plays Magic because he enjoys the feeling he gets when he plays. What that feeling is will vary from Timmy to Timmy, but what all Timmys have in common is that they enjoy the visceral experience of playing. As you will see, Johnny and Spike have a destination in mind when they play. Timmy is in it for the journey. When it comes to Timmys in League of Legends, this is the kind of player who is all about big plays and good times. The Social Gamer is like many League players out there. To me, this is one of the most interesting groups because I feel like the higher elo you get, the less likely you are to know this type of person. They're in League to build friendships, to have a good time, and to hang out with their friends. This person is often found in normals and blind games, and especially in ARAMs. Timmy is the League of Legends player who cares most about experience. If you are a Timmy, you are always going to go for that big play that you want to record for that montage you're going to make. That's what the Adrenaline Gamer subtype is most likely to do. An Adrenaline Timmy is always pushing his limits. He's not looking to play the map, he's looking to outplay the other guy and make his opponent look like an idiot. This particular kind of Timmy is always limit testing, and he's never found those limits, so that's why the testing must proceed. If you hadn't guessed it yet, every Yasuo main is a Timmy. Diversity Timmys are the type of person who play tons of different champions because they want to experience a lot of different things. They are a jack of all trades, but a master of none. They are great people to be friends with because if you need that 5th person to fill out your team, the Diversity Timmy can slot into any role. If you have a friend that can fill any role, he or she might be a Diversity Timmy. All Timmys probably have the most fun of any League of Legends player, but they are also the most likely to tilt in a single game. A Timmy who isn't having a good time will spam surrender and complain about being held hostage, but won't mention that the reason their team is in the hole is because they limit tested 5 fights and lost 4 of them. Next up is Johnny. His 3 subcategories are offbeat designers, deck artists, and combo players. Johnny was originally described this way. So, why does a Johnny play Magic? Because Johnny wants to express something. To Johnny, Magic is an opportunity to show the world something about himself, be it how creative he is, or how clever he is, or how offbeat he is. As such, Johnny is very focused on the customizability of the game. Deck building isn't an aspect of the game to Johnny, it's the aspect. Now for League of Legends, we don't have the aspect of deck building, but that doesn't mean that Johnnies don't exist in League. They just express themselves in different ways. In League of Legends, a Johnny can be seen crawling through Lolalytics, looking for new and interesting duos. They are putting together a clash team and asking their teammates to list their most played champions so that they can build the perfect team to win. By definition, most coaches have a Johnny inside them. The 3 subtypes of Magic Johnnies match up the least to our League Johnnies. A Johnny looks at League as a system that is meant to be beaten. Even better if they can do it stylishly and they invent their own ways to do it. Sometimes they even make a YouTube channel to talk about it. The flip side to a Johnny is that they can become so caught up in their masterful plans that they forget they have to actually execute them on Summoner's Rift, which is where even the best laid plans can fall apart. If you have friends who are always pushing you to try new things, new duos, new 5-man squads, or they watch happy chime noise videos and say, we should do that, they are probably Ajani. The last gamer archetype is Spike. His 3 subtypes are Tuner, Innovator, and Nuts and Bolts. Here's what the original article has to say about him. So, why does Spike play? Spike plays to prove something, primarily to prove how good he is. You see, Spike sees the game as a mental challenge by which he can define and demonstrate his abilities. Spike gets the greatest joy from winning because his motivation is using the game to show what he is capable of. Anything less than success is a failure because that is the yardstick he is judging himself against. In League of Legends, a tuner Spike is the person who is most likely to be called a meta slave. He takes other people's ideas and tries to perfect them. Tuner Spike wants to optimize something perfectly. Innovator Spike is closest to Ajani. He's coming up with new ideas, but the idea is solely evaluated on if it can help the Spike win. He would never do something like convince his team to play with 5 Sunfire capes and call it Funfire capes. Nuts and Bolts Spikes are focused on execution and doing it perfectly. To me, this sounds like every Riven main that I know. They take pride in piloting their champion to the highest level. Spikes come in all elos, but generally, the higher the elo, the more spikes you will come across. For Spike, the point of the game is the elo. If you are playing unranked, you are wasting your time. Just because some spikes are considered meta slaves does not mean spikes can't come up with new ideas. He is often the first to test something out, and he'll probably test it more rigorously than Ajani. But the point of the testing is improving his chances to win, not for fun. To Spike, the winning is the fun. The downside to Spike is that since so much of their self-worth in the game is tied up in rank, when they run into the inevitable rough patch, they lose almost all the fun they have in the game, which can lead to further tilt, rage quits, or uninstalls. A Spike on a roll is a great teammate to have. A Spike in a slump needs a special kind of psychiatrist. The 4th type isn't actually a type, it's more of an add-on, because any of the previous 3 can also be this one. The last type is a Vorthos. Here is the original descriptor. Vorthos is the guy who never puts more than 1 legend card in his deck because it just wouldn't be right. He's the guy who will only play the Icy Manipulator from Ice Age because it's the one they call Bone Crank. He won't play with the Fallen Empire's cards with the stinky alternate art. Vorthos is the guy who started collecting cards because he liked the art, then read some magic novels, then saw his favorite characters appear on some cards and decided to learn to play. There are a lot of Vorthoses out there. Some collect cards but might not even play. Some have a hoot getting artists to sign their cards. Some don't read flavor text till they finish the novel in case it might spoil the ending. Vorthos understand that magic can be fun even when you're not playing the game. A Vorthos in League is really into the lore. They know who is kissing who, they have read all the comics, and they were breathlessly waiting for Arcane. A Vorthos might also be the type of person who follows all the drama from League streamers or pros, even if they don't follow the game itself too much. Any of the other types can be Vorthos, but in my experience, Timmys are most likely to be one. When it comes to sociality, I think Timmys tend to be the most social. Some of them play strictly for the social aspect. Others have League friends, so someone will listen to them tell their stories about smurfing and piss low. Johnnies are the middle social. Their purpose in the game might not be strictly social, but they like to have people to share accomplishments with. If you run into a duo, probably one of them is a Johnny. Spikes are probably the least social. It doesn't mean that they don't have League friends, but since they view elo as very important, they are often measuring their elo compared to their friends. Especially with less mature Spikes, this can lead to disagreements with their friends from time to time. Which of the types most match your style? Almost no one is strictly one type. Personally, I consider myself a Johnny with some Spike in him. I'm definitely not a Vorthos. I don't care about lore at all. What type do you think you are? Put it in the comments. I want to see if we get way more of one particular type compared to any other. If you want to read the original article, which I remember reading in college, and if that article were a person, it would be older than General Sniper, I've linked that in the description. Thanks for watching.